All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are just jumping right on into it. It's gonna go ahead and be Stats taking on Cure in a best of five. Another one of these best of fives, as per usual for the Afrika World format. In the bottom right-hand side of the map, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming and representing them well, his name is Cure.
And in the top left, you know this guy, it's Stats. Honestly, if you've been watching Starcraft 2 professional games and you don't know who Stats is, you need to work on that.
Either, yeah, unless you're just like a total Protoss hater and the second one's playing, you just go, and turn it off, you know who Stats is.
Right. But man, he's been around forever is the thing. He's just, like in the NFL, he's the Tom Brady of StarCraft 2. He's LeBron James of StarCraft 2. He's just been around for what feels like eternity.
Yeah.
Always performing well. Even if he's not winning it, he's taking second place. I mean, you know this guy.
Yeah, Stats is looking good, as
always.
always.
A little bit. Yeah, a bit concerned though. It feels like we have a tiny bit of a drop off this year. He hasn't.
I think that's honestly expected because he's going into military service soon, and it's got to be a lot harder to focus with that. Like, Katowice is online this year, so I think that, so I presume he's still playing it, but there's a chance that if it wasn't online, he wouldn't have been able to go. So,
true fact. That's a good point. All right. Well, CC coming down after the one Rax. Looks like a one gate expand here too out of the Protoss.
Yeah, this was actually
Cybercore first.
Cybercore first, yeah.
Oh, it was.
Get that adept across the map ASAP.
I guess. I don't know. Is there a huge benefit to getting a fast adept out? I mean, I guess if you're fast enough, you can delay that command center.
I think it's just Reaper Fear, right? Because look at this, Stats playing it so safe, goes for the Cybercore first opening, then goes for a shield battery in his main base right out the gate.
Yeah, but if you're worried about the Reaper, why are you sending the adept across the map? Like,
I guess because you have the shield battery, so you can pressure the Terran's natural.
Sure, but I mean, what's the adept planning on doing over there is my question.
Maybe to delay the command center a bit. There is a Marauder out that's going to have concussive shell, so the adept will be stopped in our tracks.
Yeah, it's time to run, adept.
Yeah, shade away.
Trying to go for a scout, but that's why you lift your supply depots, and no scouts for you, adept.
Well, she does see the concussive shell.
That's true. I mean, it could, whatever. You see it researching something, I guess. And based on the Marauder first, you can assume it's concussive shell.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now we're going to see Stats play it safe. He's got a Stargate on the way, so gosh, I guess it'll be an Oracle, yeah. What else I'm unsure of, but then yeah, probably just a battery at the natural, I want to guess. Because, I mean, you see the concussive shell, you think the Terran could be pushing, maybe?
Yeah, maybe, but it really feels like we're just macroing up here out of Cure. He's got a factory coming in, engineering bay, stims getting started, couple SCVs. And the production tab is no Marauders at all. It's just a little bit of, two Marauder poke.
Oh, look at this.
Gonna get one of the Adepts, which is awesome, and maybe even the second one. I mean, you might as well kill the Adept, man. You're not running from that Oracle.
No. Yeah,
so
looks like
get the kill, and then everything else dies. All right.
Those two Adepts dying seems a little bit unnecessary. I mean,
stats?
Yeah, I think he definitely could have saved one of those, maybe. Like, he didn't shade them at all.
Right, and he didn't... Yeah, that second Adept definitely chose to engage. Like, she could have stayed behind the wall.
Oracle moves on in.
Too many Marines.
Narrowly avoids the Widow Mine, heading towards the main base now. Doesn't really have enough energy to do anything just yet.
Yeah, used it back there on the Pulsar Beam to kill the Marauders, but does scout the Marine count and says, okay, interesting. Not going to be a ton of Widow Mine drops at the very least, which is a nice thing to see. Because, them Widow Mine drops can just absolutely murder a Protoss single-handedly.
Oh, yes, they can. Stats did just go for the one Oracle as well, then getting into Blink, getting up his third base as quickly as possible, double gas on the way. A rather strong economy for the Terran player, but we do have to keep in mind the build that Cure has chosen. He's gone for a 2-1-1 play. And so Stats is going to have to go all on the defense from this point on if he's going to hope not to die this game. Like, his Oracle did see the 2 barracks, so he should know that he's getting attacked in the near future, but...
Yeah, we'll see what he decides to do about it. Yeah, double pumping those Widow Mines. Blink is pretty handy, but no splash damage available yet. Robotics Facility coming in, and then he'll need a Bay for Colossus or Disruptors, whichever one he's going for. But yeah, this is super aggressive, and here comes that Widow Mine drop.
Much like Death and Taxes, the Terran player goes for a Widow Mine drop. Yeah, this play is really interesting from Kieran. I'm excited to see how it's going to play out. Although Stats, with having Blink, he'll be able to potentially move out ahead of this army, intercept it, force a stim out or two, and that'll just cut out so much of the HP of the Terran army. So that's actually going to be very important, whether Stats can get Kier to stim ahead or not.
Right. Medevac just kind of sharking at the 12 o'clock position. She's over here just kind of waiting, biding her time. Maybe waiting for the second one to get into position. Double Widow Mine drop in 2 different locations. Higher chance of success that one of them will get some damage done.
Oh, good control avoiding that Widow Mine. Terran army is moving out. Stats is going to have to get ready for this. I'm surprised he hasn't moved out with the Blink Stalkers, but he was waiting for the inevitable Widow Mine drop. Loses, actually.
Second one coming into the main now.
Oh, does he blink after it? Yes, he does. Loses 1 probe.
Beautiful. Done. Stats.
That is
like
Stats.
He's done this before. Yeah.
That is the aggravating Protoss player who's just so darn good at defending against things that he makes it look like it's incredibly easy. No, it's not. Stats is just the literal best Protoss at defensive play. So that's really awesome to see. We've seen Kier kind of push out, but he knows that the Protoss player's seen this coming. He knows the Protoss player's going to have a defense, and that's why we saw the Terran player just throw up a 3rd CC without really moving too far out.
Revelation tossed down. That's what the Oracles are for from this point on in the game. Is tossing down Revelation so you know where the Terran army is at all times. And this is where the Zealot Warpins begin.
Wow.
Yeah, I maintain no race like Zealot Warpins. Even Protoss hates them when they happen to them.
Yeah, that's true. At least Protoss can warp in their own Zealots to deal with the Zealot Warpin in their base.
That's a good point. Yeah, at least they have that.
Oh, another Widow Mine drop.
4 probes down.
Nothing major, really.
Zealots into Kier's 3rd base.
Yeah, there they go. Kier not really in position to deal with this. The Prism makes it into the main base of the Protoss. Zealots unload the Prism. Takes some shots from the turret, but all of a sudden, Kier's mining has been greatly disrupted by these Zealots. Only 6 dead SCVs, but a lot of lost mining time.
Yeah, a couple SCVs still hacking away inside Kier's main base, but should be... Oh, they get saved by the Warp Prism. Nicely done. Keeping them alive. Colossus in production for Stats, getting that extended thermal lance you'll always want to do.
Yeah, double Colossus. That's quite a big transition for the Protoss player, and it is incredible for the Protoss how quickly they can all of a sudden have this army, which the Terran isn't really afraid to engage into, versus the Terran basically running with a tail between their legs until they've got enough Vikings to do something about it. Because once there's 2 Colossus out, that's when it becomes really problematic for Kier. He'll have to move into, say, more drop plan stuff. The random turret out on the map, by the way. That's something. But yeah, Kier knows that Stats is getting towards this scary army. That's why we see him pushing multiple locations right now. He's actually going to engage towards the 4th base, seeing that there's no Colossus there, while pushing towards the 3rd.
Yeah, the 3rd base not super defended either until the Colossus arrive anyway.
Yeah,
What
there
am
they
I
are.
burrowing in and getting a hit off there on a Zealot at the very least. So defending, again, Stats. That's kind of the the motif of the day is Stats defending against Kier's aggression here.
Yeah,
Wouldn't mind getting burned out. That range so nice for the Colossus.
Yeah, and Kier's feeling a little bit desperate right now. I mean, Stats, he's just warped in a ton of High Templar, making some Archons, just bolstering up his army an incredible amount. And yeah, Kier right now is just thinking like, oh man, what can I do against you? And honestly, for now, I think the right play for Kier is going to be patience. He can try to go for a drop into, say, the third base in towards the main base, but that's the expected play. Stats should know that this is coming. Stats has got part of his army at his third base still. There is the drop heading towards the main base. Stats, is he going to be ready for this? The answer is not really, but he's not moving out either. So he will
he's so worried about Stats being ready, he's just hanging out. Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got stuff at the 12 o'clock he wants to do at the same time.
Yeah, this is incredibly smart from both players. Now that Stats is moving out, Kier should be pulling the trigger, and immediately he does it. There's a drop towards the third base. There's going to be the drop towards the main base moving out there too. Kier's got a large chunk of his army out on the map getting caught. That is a big win. That triggers the drop to move into actually towards the fourth base. Will Kier split this one up?
Third base is hugely under attack as well.
Yeah.
Still not being cleaned up. Are we just in base trade mode?
I guess we are. All of a sudden, it's just, yeah, these players both decide to commit to this. Kier has got to be careful of the disruptors that Stats has been producing. Stats also warped in some zealots. Kier's actually got to be very careful. He's clumping up his entire army. There's disruptors up that ramp. Stats not paying attention, though. Will lose both the disruptors like it's nothing.
Brutal. Yeah, that was the defense he had back home.
Yeah.
Kier's natural base is done. His main base is getting Protossed right now.
Yeah, but look at all the Vikings he's produced and all the ghosts too. He's going to be able to pick off at least a good chunk of the Protoss army, maybe bring it to a manageable size. Beautiful Prism micro by Stats, realizing he can't afford to lose any of these Colossus, and so far he has not lost any of those Colossus. That is actually beautiful.
Stats, you legend. He didn't lose a single Colossus there.
That was so good. And the Terran player has lost pretty much all of his SCVs. He's got a command center floating out. He's killed off most of the Protoss main base and most of the Protoss production. So, yeah, I really don't see what way this game is going to go.
They do say never base race a Terran.
Yeah, I don't know if that applies, though.
Does Stats have any flying stuff?
No, but he's building a Nexus at this location. And his main army is so big, it's going to be tough for Kier to engage into.
Yeah, army value technically the same. If the Vikings get involved here and the War Prism dies, so no more juggling is possible.
Observers, yes, there is an observer.
Yeah, it gets one hit on an Archon. Archon does not care.
Archon really don't give a damn about a Widowmine. Yeah, I don't know who decides to attack, who decides to sit back. It's really not clear. Oh, a Viking goes down. That's actually a very big pickoff. Oh, that's interesting. Since Kier lost his armory, his mines are now no longer cloaked.
That's right.
Yeah,
that doesn't come into play very often.
I've never seen that dynamic, really, since the change. So that's actually crazy.
Super crazy. This is tight, man. I mean, this is both players honestly in an okay position. Like, I don't know. I would not put a single US dollar down on betting here at all.
I think Stats has got this. He's got just such a scary army. He's going to be able to micro this perfectly well. Look at that. 2 Marines dead just like that. The Observer does go down, which is good. However, there's still the Oracle, which can tag constantly. The Blink Stalkers are going to nickel and dime Kier, who doesn't have any production going since he's supply blocked into Oblivion.
Yeah, Stats is supply blocked into bigger Oblivion, though.
That's true. But
just barely.
I still think at the moment that the army is far superior for Stats.
Going up a ramp, though, always dicey, man.
He gets another Viking.
He does, that's huge.
And all of a sudden, it's only 8 Vikings to deal with 4 Colossus, and Stats' Prism Micro. And in go the Stalkers again. They're going to catch almost another Viking. Looks like Kier goes for a complete YOLO play.
He sure does, and Stats is ready for it.
Okay, I guess he's going for a complete draw. He snipes down the Nexus. However, there's another one for the Protoss player.
Another Nexus over there. Does he have vision on that?
I guess he doesn't. But Kier's in for a surprise when that elimination message doesn't pop up.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, oh no indeed.
Intelligence. It's so important to have intelligence. Oh, he sees it now. He sees that might just be your GG. He's like, all right, well. All right.
Yeah, I think this definitely is now Stats' game. Kier can try to go for a drop, and he has got some production online.
He's making army units and Stats isn't.
Yeah, might catch an Archon, but this bio is very committed. No Blink Stalkers there, though, to punish right now, but Kier bleeds off more units.
Left behind.
Stalkers hitting this mining base of Kier, the only mining base, notably, dodging out the Widow Mines expertly. There's 2 Vikings doing what they can with the SCV support, but GG.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. GG. Just too much bleeding. It was just too much, like, Stats would kill a Viking here, a couple Marines here, Marauder here. And just Kier wasn't able to get any equal damage on the other side. So, fair enough.
Yeah, gosh, it's impossible to know what the right decision to make is in that moment. But if I'm to focus on one play that game, it honestly was Stats' micro. That with the Prism. Like,
agreed. Yeah, keeping the Colossus alive. Also, blink dodging Widow Mine hits on his Stalkers was incredibly good too.
Yeah, that was well done, but gosh, just those dodges was so darn good. Like, imagine that situation, but the Protoss player is down to 1 or 2 Colossus as opposed to 4. All of a sudden, it's a completely different game. Maybe Kier can take a fight. Stats can't bully him as much. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, tough position to be in for Kier, but Stats just did not give him any wiggle room at all. We're going to be on Oxide here for game number 2. Thanks to everyone hanging out here on Africa, tv.com/LaughNgamez for another Africa world.
Yeah,
thanks to everyone who's used the coupon code as well, AW72. Match arena link in the top there.
Yeah, that was a really, really great game number 1 between these players. Now here we are in the bottom left, representing Africa's Starcraft 2. His name is Stats.
And in the top right, Ease Red, Ease Darren, Ease Kier.
I honestly thought Kier was pretty far behind in that game from this... Or I shouldn't say pretty far behind. I think he just didn't make anything happen, so Stats had a natural lead in that game. And then when Stats decided to go for the move out, it kind of just sent things into overdrive.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the Terran condition, right? If you try to do a ton of damage through harassment on the other side of the map and you just don't, then you're behind. That's your lot in life, is you need to damage the economy or you're going to struggle a lot. Chrono Boost is good. You know, Queen Inject is good. Mules are good, but not as good as those other 2 things. Like, both Protoss and Zerg are totally happy to sit back and macro versus a Terran opponent.
Yeah, definitely. Now we see Stats. He's got a gateway on the way. He's going to go Cybercore again, it looks like.
Probe can't get the harass down. He's going to have to content himself with trying to kill an SCV with his Zapper, but that doesn't happen either.
Yeah, he yellows the SCV, though. Kier's going to put the injured SCV back onto the mineral line, as you don't want your SCV to be able to be 2-shot by an Adept.
No. Try to avoid that if you can. Blizzard very particularly made it so that Adepts would 3-shot SCVs.
Oh gosh, thank goodness. If there's ever been a pro player who's contributed more to the longevity of StarCraft 2, it is Liquid Bunny who made that suggestion on Twitter. And everyone was like, by God, he's a genius. The Adept is now balanced. Well, more so balanced.
It was more that it 3-shots a Marine than an SCV that made the difference. But
That was part of the big difference. But do you remember when Adepts would just slaughter every single SCV, and you could not, no matter how quick you reacted, it's like the Adepts are gonna kill at least a good number.
sure, but what's the? I mean, won't someone think of the drones? Like, what's the difference between
Yeah.
a ton of Adepts getting in and killing all of the drones in 2 shots? Why do we not care about them?
That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
I think it was partially SCVs, because it was Terrans that did have a problem with the mass Adepts.
Yeah, it was the Adept Phoenix play that was just unstoppable for Terran, and then they were like, okay, just change it up, 3-shot Marines, 3-shot SCVs, done. And that was it. And they moved on.
Yeah, because the Protoss at the start would just start making Adepts, and then it's like, are you gonna make anything else? Protoss was like, no, I'm good just with this. Terran's like, oh.
And Terran would be like, I got Marauders, I got Liberators, I have Vikings and Medivacs, and like none of it mattered. It was incredible.
Oh, I love bringing that up.
I will never forget that era of PvP because every game was the same thing. Terran just desperately trying to find any combination of units that would stop it and failing every time. It was incredibly sad.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those times in StarCraft 2 history where there's something that is just unstoppable, and then Blizzard has to find a fix for it, and they do. So it's nice. Adept Phoenix was murdered forever, had a brief time in the sun, and never came back. Speaking of Phoenix,
This poor Valiant must feel so violated.
just what? What? Oh, there's another one. I was like, why are you lifting that? Sparks falling all over the Phoenix. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I saw a Phoenix opening versus a Terran. Like, Phoenix opening versus Zerg? Sure.
Yeah,
But
you're
versus
right.
Terran? It feels like it's been a while.
I dig it. Stats is
Yeah,
allowed to
I'm-
do whatever he wants.
He absolutely is. You never second guess stats.
He's like, I know Kira's gonna try and Widowmine drop me, so I'm gonna make some Phoenix.
That's not a bad counter. God, there was a Bjorn versus Cyril game from DreamHack Last Chance.
Oh, okay.
And Cyril just blind went 3 Ravager Rush.
Oh my gosh.
And Bjorn was proxy raxing. And it was just like, well. The proxy got absolutely murdered. Because Cyril just was like, I'm making 3 Ravagers today.
Oh, it's a hard life.
Brutal.
That's the risk you take, though, when you do that kind of build. I gotta say, though, by the way, I love Stats' understanding of these units. Like, he's like, I know Phoenix have a good amount of HP. Sure, I'll fly over your Marines and lift up a good number of them. And so he just killed off, like, 5 Marines. And that is actually huge when it's going to come to dealing with a push that'll be coming out of Kier shortly. Colossus is on the way. I imagine there'll probably be a battery plopped up at the 3rd or the natural soon. And then, yeah, Stats should be ready to deal with the attack that's coming his way. If I'm Kier, I'm not feeling too happy this game.
Nope. The Phoenix are annoying. Even Protoss hate Phoenix, man. Like, the number of times I've had a Protoss teammate in like a 3v3 where there's just more Phoenix for the other Protoss, and my Protoss teammate just taps out because it's like, I lost the Phoenix Wars, I'm done. It's like,
That's exactly how it is.
yeah, I know. I understand it. Like, I get it, man. They hate Phoenix. Like, aren't you going to keep playing? No, they got more Phoenix than I do.
I got nothing. I may as well have none.
Yep. Might as well just go into the next game.
See, that's actually it's actually one of like the funniest like when you're playing a PvP and you're making Phoenix and you know your opponent's making Phoenix, nothing happens on the map for like 3 minutes. And you're just like, huh, I wonder if my opponent's still making Phoenix or if he's tried making carriers yet. It's just...
True fact.
And the correct answer is always just keep making more Phoenix.
Yep.
Because then if your opponent does go carriers, you just kill him with your overwhelming amount of Phoenix. Yeah, Kira's been kept home to an extreme degree this game, just due to the Phoenix bully. And then there's the Colossus waiting back there too, like... Stats is
Yeah,
just playing with Kira. He knows exactly how the unit dynamic works here. Oh, look at that, you gonna siege your tanks?
that's fine. You're 800 miles from my base. You siege away, man. That's such a great feeling. If your enemy is coming to attack you and they siege up in the middle of nowhere, it's like excellent.
Yeah, it's just
Exactly what I need.
the Uno reverse card.
Yeah. Oh, look, you went 4 inches and sieged up again. Cool.
Yeah, wow, look at all the distance you're going, buddy. Good job.
It's gonna
Also,
take you 7 minutes to make it down to my
make sure you
7
don't
map.
send any reinforcements across the map or I'll kill those.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, I'll just fly into your base
Oh.
and kill it all anyway.
I'm gonna reset your Viking count so your Colossus, my Colossus are way better. Excellent. Oh my gosh, I'm picking up tanks. I have so many Phoenix.
And just wait, charge is gonna be done in about 10 seconds and I got 24 zealots. Oh boy, poor Kier.
We've got Zeiss in chat. Who are the casters? It's a LaughNgamez and Falcon Paladin.
Oh.
Yes, I am Falcon Paladin. It is me. Greetings. Welcome to the stream.
Alright, Kier to GG in 10. Oh.
Oh my gosh,
all
all of his
tanks.
tanks are dying. And his handful of bio, like,
Oh my god,
just-
stats is so good.
you can kite all you want, man. Eventually you're backed into a corner, that's it, man.
Oh
2-0
gosh.
Stats.
Oh gosh.
Stats is feeling his oats today, man.
Holy cow.
Crikey. Oh, it's Size Matters. What's up, Size Matters? I cast one of his games last week on my channel.
Oh, awesome.
Glad you could make it to the Africa today. Stats is looking like a total monster, so that's fun.
Yeah. It's getting to the point which he's just gonna like pick Kier up and just tear him in two.
Yeah. Or like break its back like Bane versus Batman.
Oh yeah. It's just like Kier's trying everything he can and just Bane's just deflecting it all.
Yeah. It's that scene in Dark Knight Rises. Directly taken from one of the comics, I believe.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, there's a pretty famous panel of Bane breaking Batman's back over his knee.
So, yeah. So I never knew that Bane, like, till I read something about it like later, was like, oh, the reason why Bane wasn't really caring about getting punched by Batman was because he has a bunch of drugs being circulated to him.
Yeah, they didn't make that very clear in the
No, they
movie
didn't.
at all.
And
And I'm not even sure if that's like movie lore. I'm not sure if that's true about that Bane.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because comics, video game, TV show Bane definitely is getting pumped with like magic steroids when he gets huge. But we never see Bane in the movie change size at all.
No. There's
so it feels
definitely
like they realistic it, you know?
yeah. There's definitely parts that could be elaborated on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Bane.
Good luck to Kier coming up with something that's going to work against Stats. He can probably hope for another base trade or something, because Stats isn't able to perfectly predict what'll happen there.
It's true. Stats is feeling good. Bottom right. Red.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
honestly, if I'm Kier and I'm playing against Stats, and it's like, oh, you can probably make the game go into a base trade, I say yes every time. Because, like, just playing straight up against Stats, who's so good at predicting what's going to happen to, like, what the next step is for the Terran to do. Like, he's just so darn good at it.
Well, my Discord member says that Bane in the movie was full of morphine. Does it ever say that?
Shouldn't he have been, like, asleep on the couch then?
You're feeling good, but you're not exactly up for fighting if you're on morphine. Anyway, yeah, there's a really good Bane fight in Batman Arkham Asylum.
Okay, that's the game, right?
Yeah, which is the
Yeah.
first Rock Daddy, whatever the developer is. First of the Batman series that's like Arkham City and Arkham Knight is all from the same series.
Yeah, I heard those were quite good.
Really good. Arkham, like, yeah, I think Arkham Asylum is my favorite. It's more of an on the rails adventure than open world, which is what the other two
okay.
are. But because it's on rails, I think it tells a better story. It's kind of your trade-off. you
Wait, are those Telltale games or?
know? No. It's Rockstar, I want to say, but it's not
Oh, okay.
Rocksteady. It's something like that. No, it's definitely action-y adventure. It's got
They're
one
pretty.
of the
Sorry.
well, just one of the better like fighting game mechanics
Oh,
ever.
okay.
Like the way you fight with Batman feels like you're Batman more than other games I played Batman in. It's nice.
Okay. They're pretty brutal games too, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Okay.
it's Batman, so like Batman doesn't kill is always part of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, when he's broken all 4 of your limbs and left you in the snow overnight, you're probably dead. That's my take with Batman, not killing
Yeah.
people. Yeah. Really good stuff. Mark Hamill does the Joker voice acting.
Oh. Yeah, Mark Hamill's a phenomenal voice actor.
He is. For a lot of people, his Joker is Joker. Like, he is Luke Skywalker, and also his Joker is Joker. It's a pretty good resume. But yeah, Arkham Asylum's probably like $2 on Steam. Like, I would honestly recommend picking it up. It's pretty incredible.
Next time I want to play a story game, I will.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, you beat up a lot of people. It's not just story, but
Okay.
it's got a good story.
Yeah, I like good story games.
Yeah. All right, so where are we at? Pretty even across the board here. Nobody has much of an army at 3 minutes because obviously we're opening up macro. Supplies are virtually even, 37 to 39. Blink coming in here from stats. Is he just going to absolutely demoralize Cure with some kind of a Blink Stalker attack here?
Maybe? Yeah, he's got 3 gates on the way. So it's going to be the 4-gate blink.
All right, here we go.
This is honestly something that I don't think is too bad of your Cure. Like, it's better than you being the offensive player, I think. Being defensive versus stats, because stats is known for his defense, not his aggression. So
True.
all you got to do, I think, if you're Cure is just defend this. Then you might have opportunity. I mean, I say just defend this. It's not going to be easy, but if he can defend this, he'll have opportunity to potentially strike back against stats.
Sounds like a reasonable analysis. Kai says, are there any more Premier tournaments? No, I think Katowice World Finals is our next thing now.
Yeah, GSL Super Tournament was just kind of snuck in there.
Yep. It was Last Chance, which was a lie because there was a GSL Super Tournament after it.
Yeah, but that didn't give points.
Okay.
Just
tournament.
seed to GSL round of 16, I think. And we still don't know fully how Code A is going to be or whatever, because that was announced too. Anyway, in comes Stats with all of his Blink Stalkers. Oh, the SCVs didn't repair right away.
No, but it's enough.
Okay.
No, it's not. The bunker dies. Backup bunker. Engage.
Always have a backup bunker, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Except the problem is there ain't a bunker in his main base. Stim is about 10 seconds away. SCVs just say, all right, we're doing this right now. As in goes the SCVs buffering for the Terran Bio. Is Kier going to Stim to push this away? He doesn't need to, thankfully, because that would be a lot of damage on his Bio. He needs to get Medivac production going as soon as he possibly can. That way he can freely Stim and push away these Stalkers.
Linking in another bunker down.
Oh, okay.
But couple Stalkers dying here. Stimming and chasing going
quite a
pretty
few
well
dying.
For Cure. Wow, another one. Okay, that went way better than I thought it would.
All right, there's one Medivac on the way. There should be a second one on the way shortly after. Kier does have a third base behind this, keep in mind, guys, whereas Stats is only just now starting his. So, by all means, this has been a hold so far. As long as Kier doesn't spread himself too thin, which he could do pushing out against this, like, he's got to be real careful. This could turn sour for him. But, oh my gosh.
This is some pretty good play from Cure. That's the trick. Stalkers may look overpowered versus Terran, but man, if they ever actually get directly hit by Marines and Marauders, they die fast.
Yeah, once there's Stim for the Bio, it really changes things. Yeah. We're going to be having... Oh my gosh, in goes Stats, a mad lad.
Yeah, remember we were just like, Stalkers are flimsy, and Stats was like, what? Nah.
Yeah, you can tell that this is not Stats' forte.
No, that was not a good choice to jump in there.
Yeah. No, this is This is it was a bold attempt by Stats, and I guess he feels like he needs to make something happen, as he's literally just got a Robo Bay on the way, no +1. He's just throwing down his Forge now, just getting up his third base, whereas the Terran already has up a third, has +1 done, Medivac production going. Like, Stats is in a terrible position.
Yeah, it's not great. When Concussive Shell finishes, this is going to be over.
Oh, the Observer even gets scanned. Nicely done by Kier. There's one Colossus on the way for the Protoss. Yeah, I don't know. Stats is going to have to keep pressure on the Terran and then just play the most amazing defensive game of his life when he does end up on the back
Oh,
foot.
crap.
Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh.
Oh, Blink's not available. Okay.
Oh, gosh. Yeah,
38 to 18 army supply. Cure.
That was,
Wow.
that was great commentating on my part. Just, oh, gosh. Oh, gosh.
Sometimes
man.
That's all it takes. Yep. All right. Well, the Colossus finishing up. Extended Thermal Lance getting started. Concussive Shell is done. Marauder count heavy. Army supply double for Cure versus Stats here. Never a good place to be, and I don't care who you are.
Guess how many Stalkers have died this game?
50.
25.
All right.
Which isn't as high as you guessed, but it's still weird that it's that high.
Oh, what just killed 10 probes?
Oh, I'm guessing something to do with...
Widowmine?
Starts
Yep.
with W and ends with Idomine.
Can be it.
Oh, gosh.
Okay,
Stalkers...
Medevac's snipe is not bad, but losing how many Stalkers for it is a problem.
Yeah, these 4 Stalkers are doing work. This is what Stats needed to do right as soon as the rush was ended, basically.
12 SCVs killed. Worker count is up for Stats. Tied up. Army supply is still just massive for Cure. Like, there's got to be a point that he just decides just to march across the map here and see what he can do.
Stats does have 2 Colossus now. He's got Charge on the way. He did just lose another 2 probes. He's got a cannon on the way so he can clean up the mine. Yeah. The position isn't worse than it was 2 minutes ago.
It's not worse than the terrible place he was in before.
But how he's going to win this game still, I'm not 100% sure. The main thing that I'd say is going for Stats right now is that Cure isn't prioritizing Viking production. And that Stats is going to have 3 Colossus out, which is enough to basically prevent any direct attack from the Terran. With an additional Robo on the way, that's probably going to indicate that Stats is just going to go into Disruptors behind this, and oh dear.
Wow, okay. Comeback mechanic of the century.
Yeah, we're just
Widowmines.
like get more
Widowmine.
ahead mechanic of your Cure.
That too. Medevac's snipe is pretty good.
All right.
Widowmine not allowed to remain, and here comes Cure.
Yeah, this is scary for Stats, but it's honestly not as bad as it could be, as he does have the 3 Colossus, and it can't be overstated how important that is. Having 3 Colossus basically tells a Terran with any amount of bio and no Vikings to go away. Wow, Stats, even amongst all this chaos, is actually finding time to go for a Zealot counterattack. That's really impressive. These Zealots are going to run into this bio, which is getting caught out, so really good play there. This is going to force Kier to pull some of his bio back. He still can't go for the attack. This is potentially the start of a comeback for the Protoss player. All right, there's a big load up by Kier. The Stalkers are waiting, however.
Yeah, they're ready for it. Disruptors are out, although we're working on Ghosts with the enhanced shockwave back home for Cure.
Yeah. That would be why Stats decided to go for Disruptors as opposed to going into Templar. Disruptors can still get the big hits even if they're EMP'd.
Yeah, it's really weird how Stats feels like he's okay here, despite being down in every metric.
Yeah, he just understands how the units work so well. He basically says, you don't have enough Vikings to kill my Colossus, so... And I've got Disruptors, so really I don't have to fear just a straight up head-on attack that much. So he's got Stalkers chilling at his natural. He's got some in his main base too. And he's not rushing to take his 4th base. He's just taking it now, which is very wise. If he had tried to get that up earlier, he would have stretched himself too thin. Two upgrades are now on the way for stats.
Yeah, 3-3 getting started for Cure here by comparison. Also +2 flyer. Fusion core on the way, probably for Liberator upgrade, as he is making Liberators 2 at a time right now.
Yeah, this is honestly just so impressive by stats. He understands the way, or the moves that are open to him, basically. He hasn't made any moves that would be considered wrong, or why would you do that? No, he knows exactly the steps that the Terran can take, and that's why he's just been sitting back playing it defensive. I do find it rather interesting that Kier has so far neglected Viking production. Like, he's only at 5. There is a world which Kier could have leaned hard on the Viking production, tried to go for a kill. Instead, he's just been sitting back and just electing to macro up. But of course, that is giving stats the opportunity to equalize this game, as both players are now maxed out.
And that's the problem. If you're ahead and you just let your opponent sit back, they can catch up. And that's exactly what happened here.
Yeah, I'd say that this was partially... Oh, look at that. Was that just an accidental mass over stim by... Or that was intentional by Kier, I think, to burn through medivac energy to prevent feedback from killing them. That's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Now we see the Protoss player getting aggressive. This is a questionable move by stats, as it left him open up to this counterattack that the patient Fox Kier was waiting, and now all of a sudden the 3rd base of stats is gone. He's being forced to go in for a big attack. Disruptor Novas are going out. Yeah, big attack by stats. He's just pushing forward. Nova's clearing the way as he moves forward.
Colossus down. Another Colossus taking hits from these 2 Vikings. 3 Vikings. It's not a ton, but it's enough to make the Colossus fear. 27 SCVs have died, and this base is going down too.
Yeah, stats kind of just threw the game away by going for that attack, I guess. GG.
Wow. He didn't even get that planetary. Man, by moving out, he ends up losing 3 of his bases and doesn't take a single Terran base down.
Yeah, stats was so patient
choice.
that entire game, and then all of a sudden, when he decides to attack, that's when
everything goes wrong. Everything went wrong. Nice job, Cure. He's fighting, man, bringing us to a game 4.
I guess stats maybe was just thinking that that definitely was the wrong decision to move out for an attack there. But I guess stats maybe was just thinking, oh, I know the Terran hasn't gone into all these Vikings, so he has just been building up this insane economy. And so I either need to end the game now, or I'm going to be playing a later game on the back foot. And I know Kier can play late game Terran, so maybe stats was worried about that, but I still think that trying to play a later game would have been the much smarter decision. Obviously, as he wouldn't be dead.
In hindsight, yes.
Yeah.
True facts. We're on Pillars of Gold here for game number 4. I mean, can pretty much guarantee Stats does not want to go to a game 5 here today. He'd rather play as few games as possible. So we'll see what he does. I mean, is it even viable to try to cannon rush a Terran in 2021?
No.
Just not at all.
You can do like the cannon rush into like the Tempest and stuff with the batteries, but if you're gonna try and win a game against Terran with just a cannon rush, you are a fool.
Fair enough. See, the frustrating thing about that is that in my team games, if my Terran teammate gets cannon rush, they just die. So thank you for validating my opinion that they just suck.
Yeah. As Terran, it's pretty straightforward to defend just a straight up cannon rush.
Yep.
Pull SCVs.
That's what I always say.
Per cannon. Build a bunker immediately.
get
Bob's
a
your
tank
uncle.
out eventually. Yeah.
Anyway, in the bottom left, he was incredibly patient in that last game. A lesser Terran would have tried to go for those drops anyway, would have tried to find new angles to attack. Instead, Kira literally just... He just played like... He's like, bet stats. Anyway, it's Kier in the bottom left.
Yeah, he almost baited stats into that. And then the top right, he's up 2-1, but, you know, a little nervous. It's stats.
Yeah, a little nervous maybe.
A little bit, tiny bit. Yeah, that's just, again, Cure, the reason he beat Solar is patience. So if he can, maybe that's just his superpower. If he can be patient here today, I could see him taking the series.
Yeah, like, patience is just so important. Like, and that, Kira learned that lesson the hard way, I guarantee you, over hundreds of thousands of ladder games by trying to go for those attacks and then failing. Instead, he outpatience stats.
Oh, look at that juke, too. He's like, I'm going to the main. Just kidding. Juke. Block your natural. Oh, just kidding. Kira's like, you're not. It's not even off center. Haha.
That's a good feeling as a Terran. You're like, oh, thank God I don't have to lift that off. But there is a Zealot. Just giving it across the map.
Imagine being a Zerg where you can't just toss down your second base wherever you want and fix it later.
Yeah, there's a reason I play Terran.
Pro block is just it's just Zerg just give up. Like on maps where the probe can get there fast enough, they just take their third first every time. No big deal. And yeah, there's your delay. Zealots, man, good unit. This is... I know I say this every time we cast together, but this is just eternal. This is Brood War stuff right here. You send across a single Zealot, you delay construction on the Terran second base. This has been happening since before some of you were born.
I love it.
It is. It's an eternal tactic.
It's so good.
Beautiful. All right. Well, shoves it down. Does delay the natural a little bit. Oh, and the Stalker, too.
Can the Zealot and the Stalker push up? They probably can, right?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah. See, now the Marines are running. Kiting. A Marine down. That sucks. 2 more Marines are joining the battle. The Zealot gets taken out, and that helps a lot. Now the Stalker has to get out.
Wow, yeah, that actually... Oh, almost a dead Stalker. That actually went a lot better for Cure than I thought it would.
It's just delay tactics. I don't think it was intended to win the game by any stretch, but definitely slowed Cure down a bit. And in a game where you got out macroed last time, I think slowing down Cure is just fine here. Starport coming in out of Cure. Are we surprised by this? No. Widowmine drops are going to have to be part of the strategy here no matter what.
The tech lab is interesting. Is it going to be a Cyclone or a tank or what?
Yeah, one Cyclone is always fine. Oh, a tank. Oh.
Good old 2-base Terran tank all in, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Just make a Viking or make a Liberator and then just go for it?
A Liberator would be cool, but no. We're tech labbing it. Banshee?
Yeah, is Kier just going to throw up a third base then, or what? I really don't know.
Me neither.
Make a Raven, throw up a third base, or could be Cloak. Huh. Yeah, making a Raven. There must be a third base on the way soon. No, he goes for a Rax.
Cure. You're tricking us. What are you up to here? Times like these that I always remember Day 9 from his Day 9 dailies, where if your opponent's doing something weird, just go kill them. So that might be what Stats is up to here.
Yeah, Kier did go for the tank, though, which is good defensively. He's got a second one on the way, and he does have a bunker at the front.
And Stats is going to go for the blink stuff again. Look at this. Dude, really?
Oh, the Raven will allow the Observer to be killed. That's big.
It went so poorly for you last game, Stats. You going right back to Blink Stalker?
Oh, this time he gets the bunker right away, and there is just one bunker for Cure.
Alright, tank needs to stay alive. And that's the trick, is getting blinked on top of by Stalkers is the #1 cause of tank death in PvT. Doctors recommend not letting that happen. Yeah, I don't know. I think he knows. He sees the Raven. He's like, I'm not. Just pick off the fringes here. Supply block cure. That's pretty good. Pretty substantial supply
Yeah.
block, too.
Yeah, that was a lot of dead depots. 3 dead depots. Wow.
Ooh,
And
going in
there's
the
stats in the
main.
main base. Stim is a long way away this game, too, so I think SCVs may need to be pulled. Auto turret's going to get cast.
Yeah, and then just blink out. Mm-hmm. You think if they increased the cooldown time on blink, it would be okay?
I don't think it needs to be increased.
I think it would murder blink stalker play entirely.
Yeah,
If they
I think
increased it by
so.
like 2 seconds.
I don't think its blink is particularly OP, so actually
Yeah.
I think it's actually incredibly well balanced for the most part. As a Terran, I don't mind it.
Okay. Terran perspective is probably the most important one here. Fair enough. I don't know. I just saw stats blink in, wander around for a little bit to get some shots, and then blink out. It just felt like that was real fast on that cooldown.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. Then again, Stats is so smart that if he felt he was going to be punished, he wouldn't have gone for that blink.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we have seen other Protoss players make mistakes, like blinking in, losing stalkers. Stats, though, he's good enough not to do that.
Truth.
Alright, the Prism goes back on in. There is a Viking out, however, and Marauders, which now have Stim as well, so Prism's going to get out of there, all the while Kier has a drop moving towards third base. And that's mighty, mighty exposed. Oh, he's not going for it, though. Scan, does he just stim on in? There he goes.
Sure does. Marching right on in. Got his orders.
Oh, boy.
All right. Well, at least going for some low-hanging fruit on the probes. Getting the Nexus is probably too much to ask.
Oh, that was not the right call by Kier. Well done by Stats. 8 probes
Yeah.
for 2 full medivacs worth of units. I'll take that trade if I'm Stats, I think.
Yeah, me too. 100%.
Yeah, like, Kier, if he just kept the bio there, like, it was a decent amount of bio. It could have traded out, killed off a few Protoss units. I guess so. Kier just felt that those units, it was better to risk it for the biscuit.
Kira setting up his third base quite nicely, although Stats has other things in mind. Free Colossus, as you've said so many times today, is so hard for Terran to deal with.
Nefarious intent. Now, tanks are an option for Terrans to deal with this, and there is 5 for Cure. So
They do outrange Colossus, which is awesome.
And they will, they're not good at, say, attacking into Colossus necessarily, but if you're a Terran, you want to sit back, but you don't want to make a ton of Vikings, the tanks will work for Cure. That's why he's just confidently chilling at his third base. Yeah, Stats shouldn't attack on into me, and I think this is actually a mistake by Stats. We'll see, though. Interference Matrix goes down by Cure.
Nice.
Double cast. Beautifully done. The Zealots are making it surprisingly far. No, is this actually just going to straight up work for Stats?
Holy crap. 3 of the tanks went down. The 4th
my
tank
gosh.
is taking direct fire, too. The Colossus are back because Interference Matrix is temporary.
Yeah, GG, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Stats was like, shut up, LaughNgamez, I got this.
Yeah, apparently so, but